Hi, you're watching Lindsay TV. I'm Mary Lindsay. Today I'm talking to Lindsay Nicol of Crossford Construction. Lindsay, you and John have had some very interesting chats about the process of home renovations. I'd like to talk to you about something that I wonder if might be an important thing for a homeowner to do, and that would be, should a homeowner have a building inspection done or a partial inspection done on their home prior to contacting a contractor?
Absolutely. It's very important to identify conditions with the existing home in order for the contractor to better understand how he needs to quote the job and deal with the existing home conditions.
Lindsay, in the older part of the city, we know that there are still a number of homes that have knob and tube wiring, and we know that there are a number of homes with rubble foundations. I would imagine that those would be something that would give you pause in making your plans for the renovation.
Well, those are certainly issues that have to be identified and clarified before you undertake a renovation project to make sure it's feasible.
Right.
You can have a building inspection expert come and do that. In addition to that, the contractor should come and do his own due diligence evaluation of the conditions of the house in order that he can give you an accurate estimate, and you can sign a contract whereby you don't run into surprises that you hadn't budgeted for.
That's a good point, because I know that in a lot of renovations, the surprises are what escalate the costs and escalate the timeline on the finished product. So that if you know prior to your renovations that you have these existing problems, you either remedy them or the contractor factors that into the renovation?
Absolutely. People don't like surprises during a renovation.
No.
You know, you want to identify them ahead of time. When people run into conditions that they want to spend extra money on, it's better to spend them on things that you can appreciate and enjoy, rather than unforeseen things that you never accounted for.
Do you subcontract out to electricians and plumbers if you need those services?
Well, most good quality contractors, especially in the renovation business, will have their own employees doing the carpentry, finishing, that sort of thing. And
yes.
You don't want to subcontract that kind of work out, because quality control, timing, all that kind of stuff is very important, and that's what separates good contractors from not so good ones. Of course, most contractors have a network of good quality sub-trades that they'll work along with, like the electrician, plumber, for example.
Yes. Well, I know you have done a renovation at the Lindsay household, and one of the things that pleased me the most was that I was able to go to work in the morning, and it didn't matter whether it was an electrician or a plumber or a plasterer or whoever that you had working in the house. They were all such nice people that I knew that my house was safe, and that they would clean up at the end of the day. It was like having a cleaning lady every day. Your fellows are terrific.
Well, thank you so much. It's very important, for a good contractor to surround himself with good quality tradespeople.
Yes. And
one of the ways in obtaining a contractor is you should actually, when they come to do their pre-bid inspection, you will bring along some of these people that you have an opportunity to meet and get a sense of what they're all about.
I especially like, is it Henry, the fellow from Venice, the little island off from Venice, who sings while he works? Henry the electrician, is that his name?
Enrico.
Enrico, of course, yes, Enrico, like Caruso. And I came home one day and he's singing in my house. That was great. Lindsay, when we as realtors go to list a house that's had a renovation, it's very important for me to determine that they have the permits that were required by the city. And I'm very surprised often to find that they don't have the right permits. And then we really have a problem, because on closing, they have to have those permits. Can you speak to that?
Well, absolutely. And that, any renovations that involve structural work of any kind, or plumbing and major electrical issues, need to have permits.
Right.
You need to have a building permit, and you also need to have an electrical safety authority permit once the work is completed.
Right.
And I know in the real estate business, these are documents that are required in order for a house to be sold that has had a renovation performed.
Well, in the last year, or the last couple of years, if you don't have a permit, you really have a problem. And how does a person go about getting a permit if they didn't get one in the first place? What happens in that case?
Well, then that can be very unpleasant, because you'll have to engage. I mean, you might have to open up certain portions of the house that have been completed. You might have to destroy finishes. You'll have to have engineers do inspections. It's not pretty.
Yeah. I know I had a case recently where a fellow had a friend do the electrical work, and the house was beautifully done. And he didn't have permits. And the ESA, the Electrical Safety Authority, came along. All the drywall had to come down in the house because the ESA had to see every bit of work that was done by his friend, who is not an electrician by trade, but does electrical work. Not a good idea.
No, absolutely not. And it's not just the permit or the resale of the home. It's life safety issues are at stake when you're dealing with electrical issues.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Lindsay. It was wonderful talking to you, and we'll speak again. Thank you.
My pleasure.